So for the past week, I've had my sim shunted inside of this classy wee bugger right here, the Xiaomi 15 Ultra. And the very fact that it has Ultra in the name should tell you this blower won't be cheap when it hits the UK. I don't know the exact price as I sit here banging on at the camera because typically Xiaomi wouldn't reveal that ahead of the official launch. But if I was to slap on my metaphorical Mystic Meg wig, I'd predict around the sort of £1,249 mark. I kind of wish I had a literal Mystic Meg wig. I'll cover up all these stress lines. Anyway, here's my full Xiaomi 15 Ultra review, and for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Now, as always, the Xiaomi 15 Ultra is a proper chonkster. It'd be a big old beefy boy even without the massive jutting out camera bump there, which, let's face it, is less of a camera bump and more of a small planetoid. But you know, this phone is a big old bugger and it weighs 226 grams, which is more than the Galaxy S25 Ultra. It's right up there with the likes of the OPPO Find N5 foldable phone and those chunky great bloody iPhone bricks. So actually that camera bump, it comes in very handy indeed as a useful finger shelf, especially if you're using this thing one-handed. Now up front here, you've got Xiaomi's very own Shield Glass version 2.0. This is drop and scratch resistant. This phone has certainly face planted a couple of hard surfaces from a small distance and seems absolutely unperturbed. You've also got a pre-installed screen protector slapped on there. And as you can hopefully make out there, just like last year's Xiaomi 14 Ultra, the 15 Ultra's display just curves ever so subtly around all four edges. We are talking a very gentle slope, and to all intents and purposes, this is a flat display. You've also got yourself an aluminium frame stretching around the edge. And then flip the Xiaomi 15 Ultra over and you've got quite a classic stylish design. It's a two-tone finish, part smooth, part soft touch PU leather. It certainly stands out in a sea of very similar smartphones, quite a unique finish. And I like some of the little touches Xiaomi's thrown in here, like the dinky wee Ultra logo stashed in the corner there. You've got the brushed metal camera ring. The whole thing is quite repellent to fingerprints and greasy griminess in general, and I really like how that soft touch section adds a good bit of extra grip along with the old camera bump. As always though, the Xiaomi 15 Ultra model is bereft of vibrant color choices. Your options here are basically black, white or silver chrome, I believe. No lovely greeny hues like you can get with the regular Xiaomi 15, and it's fully IP68 rated as well, not 69 like some of its rivals like the OPPO Find X8 Pro, etc. So can't take a severe spurting, but still drop it in the bath, the sink, whatever, no worries. Now, as you'd expect from a phone with Ultra in the title, you've got an ultrasonic fingerprint sensor built into that whopping great display, not a bog standard optical one. And this has been absolutely fantastic, one of my favourites so far. Even if my hands are proper wet or grubby, it has absolutely no problem recognising me. And likewise, the face unlock's been pretty damn reliable too, even if it's quite dark or I've got my HUD pulled right up. And of course on the software side, no shocks or surprises, it's Xiaomi's own HyperOS version 2 slathered on top of Android 15. And again, it's pre-launch. Xiaomi hasn't committed to a specific number of years of OS updates and security patching just yet. And I'm hoping, as it's an Ultra, it'll be supported for at least 3 or 4 years. And of course, the flagships are always the first to receive the new Android updates as well in a fairly timely fashion. Of course, as always, HyperOS stirs up some pretty strong feelings, certainly in the online community, even though it's feeling less distinct from Android these days. You've got your apps tray, got your notifications bar, your control center, of course, slightly different. Got a separation there, but then most smartphones now offer this, including Samsung's S25 blowers. You can quickly and easily customize the likes of the notifications effect. You just get a nice little flash down the edge there whenever something pops in. The actual fingerprint animation. Quite an eclectic selection of always-on displays too. Of course, some little things like changing the wallpaper is a little more difficult than it should be. They certainly try and steer you down the route of their own online efforts. And of course, I've experienced a few wee bugs and quirks here on the Xiaomi 15 Ultra this past week, as to be expected because it is pre-launch. But for instance, sometimes I'll be checking out a web page in Chrome, I'll flick away just to check out a notification or whatever, go back into Chrome and the web page just be completely blank and unresponsive. Also, a very annoying problem to do with Bluetooth streaming. So if I was there with my cans on, listening to a podcast, bit of Spotify or whatever, and I got a notification through, it would pause my podcast and get the little notification noise, and then it wouldn't bother actually resuming the podcast. So I had to do it myself on my watch or my phone or whatever. First world problems, I know, but still a massive pain in the cock. And also, if I'm using an app with a lighter coloured background and I drag down the notifications bar, I really struggle to see what some of the notifications are saying because the actual shade itself is quite transparent. The white text blends in with that background. Maybe it's just your Uncle Spurt being a proper thickie. It wouldn't be the first time, let's face it. But I couldn't find any way of changing that in the notifications settings or anything. If anyone knows how to do that, that would be lovely. And also, having spent a lot of time with Samsung's Galaxy S25 blowers recently, it does seem like the AI offering here on the Xiaomi 15 Ultra is rather meager by comparison, which I don't think everyone will be particularly gutted by. Of course, you got all the regular stuff like a bit of real-time offline translation, which works in real life and also on phone calls, and AI subtitles, which works in anything with speech as far as I can tell. It seems to do a really impressively accurate job of picking up on exactly what's being said, and can also save a transcription as well if you need it. And as usual, if you're composing a message, you can change up the style or the tone, which is a feature that Apple in particular seems super proud of. It's Apple Intelligence, and a feature that I'd be surprised if anyone actually bothered to use ever, besides typing in rude phrases to see if it understands. And all the other regular stuff is present and correct, the likes of circle to search, a bit of Gemini, all that kind of shenanigans as well. As for the other features, well, as you would expect from an Ultra phone, the Xiaomi 15 Ultra supports a good bit of eSIM. And you've got a whopping great 0.5 TB of storage, which can be upgraded to a full terabyte if you hoy even more cash at Xiaomi. And especially as HyperOS takes up such a little amount of space, it'll be a good while before you fill that up. You've got a few other great features stuffed on here too, like the dedicated gaming modes, but more on that in a bit. Now, the Xiaomi 15 Ultra's display tech certainly appears to be very similar, if not completely identical, to last year's 14 Ultra. You got yet another 6.73-inch AMOLED screen hoyed on that front end to 3200 by 1440 pixel resolution, giving a supremely crispy 522 pixels per inch. You got full HDR10 Plus and Dolby Vision streaming support, the contrast absolutely stunning stuff, and colours quite poppy without being overly vibrant as well, but again, as usual, you can tweak the display settings to get it just to your liking. Absolutely zero complaints with the brightness levels as well. I've had very little sun to test this thing with, but under the harsh glare of the studio lights, certainly absolutely no problems with the visibility. It gets eye-searingly bright when you max it out. LTPO tech, of course, so the refresh rate scales from 1 Hz all the way up to 120 Hz. And you've also got 1920Hz PWM dimming, unlike the likes of the Galaxy S25 Ultra. So great news if you are sensitive to the OLED flicker. As Xiaomi bills this panel as a wet touch display, and I've got to say, super impressed in that area. Even if my hands were sopping, dripping wet, I could still actually open up apps, check my notifications and all that without the screen going absolutely schizo and flying about all over the place. And that can be particularly handy if you venture outdoors and you happen to live somewhere like Blighty, where it can absolutely it down, zero notice. You also got yourself an excellent pair of stereo speakers slapped on the Xiaomi 15 Ultra, full Dolby Atmos support, as well as high-res audio, wired and wireless. They're bloody loud, they're proper bassy, vocals come through really nice and thick. So certainly didn't have to worry about slapping on the old Bluetooth headphones if I was just enjoying a bit of YouTube or whatever, even in quite a noisy kitchen environment. And absolutely no shocks or surprises with the performance, because you've got Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Elite stuffed in here, like pretty much every other great flagship right now. And that's backed by a mighty 16 gigs of RAM. So yeah, everyday performance as silky smooth as you could possibly imagine or hope for. And yes, you gamers should be more than satisfied with the performance spaffed out by the Xiaomi 15 Ultra. Like some Wuthering Waves, Genshin Impact and everything, you can bump those visuals all the way up and play it with a stupendously smooth frame rate. Absolutely zero judders. I didn't notice a single dip in that frame rate the entire time I was gaming on this thing. Even if I was playing for well over an hour, because it stays nice and cool, helped along by Xiaomi's installed ice loop cooling system. The screen is beautifully responsive as well. Of course, you've got that dedicated gaming mode built into HyperOS, so you can boost the performance if you need to. I actually forgot to do that for the first few hours that I was gaming on Wuthering Waves, and it didn't seem to make any difference anyway. Again, didn't see a single drop in that performance the entire time. But as I say, that's exactly what you'd expect from an Ultra phone, and pretty much every other flagship out there, even just the regulars and the Pros and everything, have that 8 Elite stuffed inside, so there's very little to differentiate between the bigger phones when it comes to performance now. And stuffed into that big old chunky chassis, you've got yourself a 5,410 mAh capacity battery. Not quite as capacious as some literally big rivals like the Vivo X200 Pro. But of course, it's not the size that counts, it's how long you last. And even though it's not as big as some other Android flagships out there right now, it is still a slight size boost compared with the old Xiaomi 14 Ultra. I've certainly got bugger all to mourn about when it comes to the battery life here. This past week, with sort of general mixed use, around 5 to 6 hours of screen on time, plenty of audio streaming when the phone is hibernating as well, it typically ends the day with around 35 to 40% battery life remaining. It's only if you get lots of camera action on the go, including a good bit of video chat action, or if you're doing quite a lot of gaming as well, that you can finally drag it down into that sort of power saving mode by the end of the day. But I certainly never came close to completely wiping it out in a single 24-hour period. If you do need to give it a quick boost at any point, well, no worries. You've got that 90-watt hypercharge tech, whatever the hell it is that Xiaomi calls it. So bung a cable in its bottom and it'll be powered right up again in absolutely zero time. You've also got 80-watt hyper wireless charge, whatever on earth it's called. But you will have to get a supported wireless charging stand for this thing to see those kinds of speeds. And I found that with most of my regular wireless charging pads, it just didn't work with the Xiaomi 15 Ultra because obviously big old camera bump does tend to kind of lift it up a bit. And so why not let us conclude this delightful wee Xiaomi 15 Ultra review with a squint at this camera type situation. And what you have here is a fresh Leica branded quad cam setup, this time using a combination of Sony and Samsung sensors, all safely ensconced under Gorilla Glass 7i. Now the main shooter once again uses a 1-inch 50 meg Sony LYT 900 sensor with a 23mm equivalent focus. You can cycle between 23, 28 and 35mm, a quick tap there. And fans of Xiaomi's Ultra smartphones will notice there's bugger all variable aperture this time. Zero control of it, even here in the Pro mode, although the Pro mode is absolutely stuffed with fantastic features as usual. You can quickly stick it in various presets, otherwise you've got full control over ISO levels, white balance, etc. You can shoot in RAW and Ultra RAW. You've got all the tools and bonus bits you would expect. And although you can't tweak the aperture to get a tasty bit of natural bokeh, the Xiaomi 15 Ultra's master portrait mode is perfectly capable of crafting a lush bokeh style pic, while generally avoiding excessive smoothing of your subject as it separates them from the background. Action shots often come out quite sharp, although any serious motion can ruin your pic with a proper blurry finish, especially if you happen to switch up to those telephoto snappers. Now, as usual, however, Xiaomi and Leica absolutely excel when it comes to the high contrast snaps. That HDR CleverOS recaptures natural looking shadows and manages to almost completely avoid noise and grain, unlike Samsung's S25 lot or those pesky iPhones. And the same goes for those low light shots where finer detail is still captured rather than being lost among all the murk. And again, I saw next to zero noise. Now, as always, you've got a choice of two main finishes for your photos, Leica Authentic or Leica Vibrant. As always, I personally prefer the results with that Authentic mode, which may be the less popular of the two, as Vibrant certainly does a good job of making colours really pop, and the UK generally looks slightly less drab and a bit less crap. As for the alternative lenses, well, you've got yourself a 50 meg floating telephoto shooter with a Sony IMX858 sensor. This is 70mm equivalent, and it kicks in at the 3x zoom level. On top of that, you've also got yourself a 200 megapixel periscope shooter, this time a Samsung ISOCELL HP9 sensor. It's 100mm equivalent, and this one takes over at the 4.1x zoom level. And this also made an appearance in Vivo's recent X200 Pro, another excellent camera phone, and once again it doesn't disappoint. Over a long distance, the Xiaomi 15 Ultra will still spaff out a bafflingly sharp photo, albeit with some quite clear sharpening shenanigans. And as with the Vivo blower, this holds up pretty well even in quite shonky lighting. And last up, you've got yourself a 50 meg ultra wide angle shooter using Samsung's JN5 sensor with 14mm equivalent focus. And this again is pretty good, especially if you want to use it for those obligatory super close-ups. And of course, Xiaomi hasn't neglected the video capture side of things either. The 15 Ultra can shoot up to 8K resolution footage. Otherwise, if you cap it at 4K 60 FPS, you've also got a good bit of Dolby Vision smarts. And that can be used across all of the cameras on here as well, the wide, the ultra wide, and those telephoto and periscope zoom efforts. Alternatively, lose the Dolby Vision and you can shoot at 120 frames per second to get some slow motion action on the go. But as you can see, you do lose the ultra wide and the regular telephoto lenses here. You've only got the periscope zoom and the normal sensor. Or alternatively, the Xiaomi 15 Ultra can also capture 10-bit log footage, again at 4K resolution, 60 frames per second, using any of those sensors. And I found that my HDR video looked fantastic when I was dealing with strong backlighting, helping to keep my subject looking sharp. Even in fairly tricky light in general, you'll usually get something that can be shared without any kind of touching up. Stabilization's pretty smooth, even at that Ultra HD level. Although I do miss the smooth zoom feature from the S25 series. Xiaomi's quad mic setup clearly picks up audio from all directions, so the audio is just as good as the visuals, with particularly strong, crisp, clear vocals. And last up, around front, you've got again a completely different camera sensor to all of the others. This time it's a 32 meg OmniVision OV32B. And using the Xiaomi 15 Ultra's front-facing shooter, you can capture up to 4K resolution video at 30 or 60 frames per second, although you'll have to cap it at 30 FPS if you want that Dolby Vision action once again. And the mics do a great job picking up your voice. I've had zero issues video chatting with this thing. You can stray quite a distance away. It'll still cleanly capture your vocals as long as the area isn't too ridiculously noisy. Though as you can see, things do get a little bit grainy if the lighting is quite soft, so you'll want to stay well lit if you are doing a bit of vlogging or whatever. And I'm willing to bet you won't be the slightest bit shocked or surprised to hear that there's some AI-based editing shindiggery slapped on here. It's got your usual general enhancements. You can of course erase any object or human from existence. So let's try erasing Chainsaw Man from this photo. And just like that, off he buggers. Likewise, you can remove entire people from existence. So let's just get rid of this wee fella in the middle for whatever reason. And again, poof, it's like he never existed. And there you have it, my lovelies. That in a delicious wee nutshell is the Xiaomi 15 Ultra and what I reckon after using it as my full-time smartphone for a week. I gotta say, really enjoyed using it as always. It's not massively different from the old Xiaomi 14 Ultra from last year. The camera tech is banging as always. Battery life is a wee bit better now, thankfully, because I did occasionally get it down to the severe dregs, the old Xiaomi 14 Ultra, but no such issues here on the Xiaomi 15 Ultra, even in a very long, intensive day. Of course, the performance absolutely cracking, as you would expect. HyperOS is a bit sort of love it or hate it. I don't mind it too much, a few little quirks here and there. Of course, one of the main considerations is the Xiaomi 15 Ultra will absolutely lighten your pockets / savings by quite a considerable amount. You do have some rivals like the OnePlus 13, which boast the same excellent performance, brilliant battery life, fantastic camera tech and everything, but a few £100 less. That's what this bold northern twonk reckons anyway. But what do you reckon of the Xiaomi 15 Ultra? It'd be great to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Please do poke subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech. And have yourselves a ruddy, wonderful rest of the week. Cheers everyone. Love you.